Joining me now to discuss, CNN political commentators Dave Jacobson and John Thomas. Good to see you both again, gentlemen. John, starting with you this time. Senator McCain is obviously well respected, so when he talks, people do seem to listen. What do you make of this immigration debate happening within the GOP?
Well, the only real voices that you're hearing speak against the president are the consistent voices that have always spoken against the president. This really isn't anything new. And as much as Senator McCain and Jeff Flake and Bob Corker want to protest against the president, as John Boehner said earlier this week, the Republican Party is the party of Trump right now. Trump's approvals within the base are sky high. I don't think Senator McCain and others are going to get any traction driving against the president's agenda. He just has too much momentum from within his own party. And furthermore, it's all about these senators and congresspeople's re-elections. And when you start to look at these generic ballots that are tightening, it's largely to do because of President Trump and his agenda. So I don't think you're going to see between now and midterms any Republicans in any meaningful way buck the president.
And Dave, Democrats have tried, they failed to get the bipartisan support they need for this issue. Do you think more Republicans will break with Trump?
I think it's plausible, and I agree, John, it is because of the Trump agenda that over 40 Republicans are leaving the House of Representatives in the Senate. They're retiring because they're fed up with Donald Trump's cruel and unusual punishment towards immigrants, towards working people, towards our environment. The bottom line is this is a president who has injected chaos across Washington, and he has refused to find common ground with Democrats to get anything done. We need, and by the way, overwhelmingly in poll after poll, the vast majority of Americans, upwards of 90%, believe in comprehensive immigration reform with a pathway to citizenship. It's Donald Trump and his hardline extremist Republicans who refuse to compromise when many of those moderate Republicans would sign a deal compromising with Democrats to get something done.
All right, quickly, John, I want you to respond, and I want to go on to what McCarthy said. Go ahead.
Trump's position on immigration is so in line with the base of the Republican Party. I just don't see this moving at all. And Dave's not wrong. Look, this is there are strong feelings on both sides of the aisle on here, but I just don't see any significant shift toward a more moderate approach on immigration, especially in light of how the jobs numbers are coming out. And Trump has all the momentum on that argument. I don't think Senator McCain does.
And, of course, there's immigration, there's trade. Tariffs on steel and aluminum are alienating some of the U.S.'s strongest allies, and not all Republicans are on the same page here. Here's House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy on this.
We believe in free trade, but we believe in fair trade. The president is standing up. Think about every country around this world would agree with us, even the EU. That's why they entered the WTO complaint against China on the theft of IP. I think what we're finding here is we're in the middle of a trade discussion. Nobody wants to be in a trade war. Nobody wins a trade war. But we're standing up for the process of where we're moving forward, that we have fair trade. If you're talking about Canada, look what they do when it comes to our dairy products. Look what our wine cannot sit on their supermarkets. I think this is a discussion trying to finalize the NAFTA agreement, going through on renegotiations, and you're just in the middle of it.
All right, so you have that, and then you have Senator Bob Corker tweeting this, that he's working with Republicans to push back on the president. Why such a disconnect among Republicans there, John, on this issue?
Well, first of all, there are the folks that well, let me just back up. This has been consistent in what Trump has said since he started running for office. I mean, that's been consistent, and I think the majority leader is also correct in the sense that this is a beginning of a negotiation. And rule number one when you're negotiating is you have to be willing to walk away. You have to be willing to take a hard position. I think that's what Trump is doing here. He's anchoring out. But this issue of trade there's been some conflicting between more establishment Republicans and others consistently. That's why you also see that the divisions on issues of immigration, because a lot of Republicans feel that giving amnesty essentially provides cheap labor, where other Republicans think it hurts Americans.
All right, Dave, final word to you on this.
I'm just really baffled by this. I mean, I don't think there's the vast majority of Republicans in Congress that agree with the president. The fact of the matter is you take a country and such a staunch ally like Canada, who in 2016 the U.S. had a $12 billion trade surplus with, and you you scratch your head wondering why we're creating a trade war with one of our closest allies, a country that has soldiers joining forces with ours on the ground in Afghanistan and in the Middle East, risking their lives to protect democracy around the world. And so I get the president's harsh tone with China, a currency manipulator, and I agree with you, John, that he actually campaigned on that issue. But against Canada, I didn't see that in 2016.
All right, Dave Jacobson, John Thomas, thank you both, gentlemen.
Thanks, Pam.
Thank you.
And still to come